Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joe, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Town Hall 13 Yeti Smash attacks, but we're over here in Jade Lynx, also known as Daddy's Clan. Okay, so we're in Clan War, and we're going to take a look at 3 different attacks today, and this is the army that we're working with. We got 4 of the level 8 P.E.K.K.A.s, 5 Yetis, 5 healers, the Siege Barracks that have Hog Riders in it, and then you obviously see that our attacker did use the Power Potion as well as the Hero Potion to boost the levels of the troops. So, I mean, I don't know, like, I've been kind of holding off on this video a little bit. I wanted to give it some time on the Yetis to see what they could actually do. Yes, of course, they're going to dominate Town Hall 12s, and that was one of my biggest concerns about posting a video saying that they're like the troop of the future, because we haven't seen a lot of fully developed Town Hall 13s just yet, even for us lower players. So we got a level 1 Town Hall 13 with the level 1 Giga Inferno Tower, and it looks like we got 1 scatter shot on this base. But let's not discredit our attacker. Beautiful work by the use of this army. So I'm going to go in play-by-play and show the sequence of the troop drop here. That way you can see what was done. And this base is a very popular one. We see this one used quite a bit up in Legends League. And you're going to see the use of the Barb King on the far right side of your screen to start the funneling process with a pair of wizards to take out a few buildings, dealing with the Royal Champion. And then we got 1 single P.E.K.K.A. dropped up on the top side of the base to start dealing with some of these resource collectors. So the remaining group of P.E.K.K.A. will be dropped back behind, and then you're going to see all 5 of the Yeti drop, followed up by 5 healers. And so the target here is to follow this channel of buildings down through the core of the base and head to the opposite side. You'll see the Siege Barracks drop, the Queen, the Royal Champion, as well as the Grand Warden, and there's going to be a jump spell place as well as a rage to get in there and deal with this town hall. At the same time, you'll notice that we did trigger the Clan Castle troops, which happen to be double dragons as well as a balloon, and so there's going to be a poison spell placed there, and the Grand Warden's ability is going to be used here momentarily upon detonation of a couple of giant bombs. Now we got troops dealing with that Inferno Tower, there's wizards pouring out of the Siege Barracks, and at the same time there are earthquake spells dropped to open up multiple compartments down here and grant access to the opposite side of the base. Now once the Siege Barracks is destroyed, you will notice that we do have Hog Riders that will come out of the Siege Barracks and come around the top side of the base to go into this northern compartment to start dealing with some of the defenses up here. At the same time, you got Yetis and Yeti Mites sprinkling throughout the base. You got a rage spell placed on their location to power up the P.E.K.K.A. and get them through this location, trying to grant access and save the Hog Riders. They're going to be joining them very, very soon. Now we do have 1 heal spell remaining in this composition, and they're going to move through this dense location. Looks like we got about 4 point defenses, an Eagle Artillery, as well as a Wizard Tower, and the Queen and a couple of P.E.K.K.A.s, or a P.E.K.K.A. and a Yeti, are kind of following it up from the back end. So it's really dependent on this portion right here for the Hogs to get through this location, take down these defenses, and assist the Queen that's left over. Looks like we only have 1 Yeti remaining, and all we really got left is 2 Inferno Towers, 1 Inferno Tower now that is set to single target mode. So I mean, beautiful meticulous work of this base. The Yetis, the P.E.K.K.A.s, they're very damaging. They destroy everything, but I'm just not really 100% convinced. If it wasn't for the Hogs that snuck in through the back end, this might not have been a 3-star, but that's something that we're going to really have to pay attention as we move on and start working with this army a little bit more. I'm going to speed it up so you can see the army for yourself. Beautiful 3-star attack. We're going to take a look at one more replay of this one, and there's your army. In this next replay, we got the same attacker and the same exact army, but a different base design. This is a popular Legend League base that is seen quite a bit. Now, you'll notice that we have all the Inferno Towers on one side and then all the Wizard Towers on the opposite side. A lot of heavy emphasis over by the Town Hall. So, you know the point of this base. The base is designed for you to come on the opposite side and your army die out before you ever make it to the Town Hall. There are no scatter shots on this base, though, so be aware of that. Now, we're going to start out in a similar fashion, and our attacker is going to basically spearhead the upper side, or the far western side of this base, taking on the strong side. So you got a P.E.K.K.A. dropped over there and a few wizards to start setting up the funnel on the left side to make sure that nothing goes on the outside. King is dropped down in the southern corner to start dealing with some buildings. There's not a lot of defensive coverage down here, minus a mortar and a cannon, and the King's fine on his own. Now you're going to notice that we have all of the P.E.K.K.A.s dropped over here by the Royal Champion, and we're going to basically spearhead this location, dropping all of the earthquake spells, all 4 earthquake spells to open up 4 different compartments here to grant access to the core of this base. The Yetis are going to be dropped, all the healers are going to be dropped, as well as the same sequence as before: Queen, Grand Warden, Royal Champion, as well as the Siege Barracks, and the same exact composition. So everything's going to hit into this location. Looks like we got double dragons, so there's going to be a poison spell and a rage spell, and everything's going to focus their efforts towards the core. Now there's going to be some wizards that's going to deal with this level 1 Town Hall 13. Queen is going to step back and deal with the Town Hall and help those wizards out. Grand Warden ability going to be used, as well as a jump spell tying our troops over to the Eagle Artillery's location. So at the same time, the Siege Barracks are still pumping out wizards. So you got a rage spell placed on our Yetis to power them through the top side of this base, and the Hogs are going to emerge from the Siege Barracks and come around the south side, working their way up into these point defenses and taking on a single target Inferno Tower. So the Yetis are tying up the beams from the multi-target as well as the Expo, and it's granting access and allowing these Hog Riders to take their time, run through the heal spell, take down the single target Inferno Tower, and everything's tied up on the Yetis. That's what's so important here to notice, that the Yetis are taking all the damage while the Hogs are able to just sneak in, take in the back end defenses, and deal with that final Inferno Tower. Looks like we got 2 mortars and a Wizard Tower, and that's going to basically be it. The troops have spread out all throughout the base. You got a Queen, the King's worked his way all the way up to the top side of the base. There's a P.E.K.K.A up there, there's a few archers dealing with buildings up there, and the Yetis have worked their way back down towards the south, and now we're basically on cleanup. So I mean, beautiful breakdown of this base, taking on the heavy side of the base and allowing the Yetis to basically smash. I mean, look at how many Yetis are left over after that attack, and they still have all of their Yeti might. So let's go ahead and get into one more final replay on this army. All right, so for our final attack, I do have a Town Hall 12. It's about the best that I can get, guys, but we have a similar army to the previous attacker. Now we do have bowlers in this situation and a little less Yeti, and also the addition of an Ice Golem. Same Siege Barracks situation with the Hog Riders, same spell composition, and you're going to see our attacker come in with the Grand Warden walk on the far right side of the screen. So it's going to be a little bit different approach than the previous 2 attacks. And you're going to see, let's see here, I think there's going to be a P.E.K.K.A drop down here in the south side to deal with this Queen while the Grand Warden walks. Now the balloon, you know what the balloon's for: seeking air mines, searching for seeking air mines. Queen is going to deal with the P.E.K.K.A. The P.E.K.K.A is going to do some damage to her and get taken out, and there's a wizard down there also working on a few things. Now there's going to be a jump spell placed, as well as the earthquake spells granting access to the Town Hall. This is a ring style base, so everything's going to basically split up on this base. So it looks like we got Yetis, bowlers, P.E.K.K.A s, Queen. Enemy Queen's going to get taken out by a P.E.K.K.A, and then the Siege Barracks are going to be dropped back behind, basically generating wizards in a similar manner as before. And then there's also going to be a rage spell placed on our troops, and they're going to basically split. And you got the King down in the south, and some P.E.K.K.A and bowlers, and the Royal Champion working her way around, and then you got the Queen working on the Town Hall at the same time. So looks like we got 2 dragons and bowlers. So we got bowlers. Okay, check it out. So we got bowlers over here on the far right side on the inside, and we got bowlers down here on the south side assisting our Royal Champion. So Grand Warden's ability is going to be used, Town Hall is going to be taken out, and then the Queen's going to retarget and take down those dragons. So we got a lot of stuff going on at the same exact time. Hogs have emerged from that Siege Barracks, and they've worked their way into the core of this base, finding a tornado trap. So we got a little bit of assistance going on here. We got Hogs assisting the Queen, we got the Royal Champion in there on the final Inferno Tower, and they're going to go into, looks like, the Expo and work their way around the back end of the base, taking down defenses. So a little bit of a different approach with those Hogs coming across the base and not flanking in like on the previous attacks. So we got Hogs teamed up with the Royal Champion. The Royal Champion is going to get taken out, and the Hogs are going to work their way up into those final defenses, but I don't think there's going to be enough oomph there to take down those final defenses. But we do have a Queen. Queen still has her ability, so that's a good thing. And we got bowlers on the outside of the base working on a few buildings as well. So let's go ahead and speed this up and get that Queen up into the final defenses. So she's going to work her way up towards the top. She's going to take down that Archer Tower, Cannon, and Hidden Tesla, and basically from there you're on cleanup. So I mean, really interesting armies, but I don't know how effective this is going to be as these bases develop. The Yetis, I think they're pretty good. This is the army right here for you to try for yourself, and I think that's going to pretty much wrap us up for today, guys. I mean, how do you guys feel about this? Have you used the Yeti? Are they effective for you? Do you feel like they're the way for the future? I don't really know how to answer that question, or if that's even going to be a viable option as time goes on, but we'll see how it plays out. If you enjoyed the content today, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we will see you in the next one, guys. Take care.